Hi there, it's Phil here, and I'm here with the latest episode of the Tarporley Podcast. And I'm here today with Woody from the Swan here in Tarporley. Hi, Woody. Nice to see you. Thanks for inviting us to come and see you and talk about Tarporley and talk about the Swan.
No problem.
So I thought initially we'd talk about Tarporley. Obviously, you're right here on the high street with the Swan. What's your connection to Tarporley? Do you live around here? What makes you...
No, I came to Tarporley in January 2009 when we took over the Swan. It had a succession of owners and had got quite sort of dilapidated, I suppose, both operationally and from a building perspective. And over the last 15 years, we have been really the custodians of the Swan because the Swan's been around for the best part of 400 years. So we see our role really as making sure that we pass the baton on to somebody else in the future with the Swan in a better place than when we found it.
Fantastic. I love that mindset with it, that you're the custodians of it, because it's a community asset really, isn't it? High Street. And you mentioned it's maybe got a little dilapidated when you came to it. What was the attraction then to come to Tarporley and take it on?
Well, you've got a really vibrant village, and in the 15 years we've been around, the village has had some good days, and it's never had bad days, but it's certainly had times where it's not been quite as vibrant. And I suppose the attraction was, it's a fabulous place set in beautiful Cheshire countryside, and it's got so much to offer. In terms of, from whether it be from schools to the facilities within the village, but the high street particularly has got some really great attractions, and with the Swan sitting right in the middle. And we saw great opportunity to hopefully bring some more vibrancy to Tarporley, and I think over the years we've probably achieved that.
I would say so. It feels fantastic in here already. So yes, you've talked about how Tarporley High Street in particular, it's got a great vibrancy to it, and there's lots of attractions here, and lots of independent businesses too. Yeah. I know you've been heavily involved in the sort of Tarporley Independence initiative that's been going on at the moment. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so Tarporley Independence, it's a very new little group that's set up, and it started with a simple WhatsApp group and involves the vast majority of the independent businesses in Tarporley. And when we started to look at how many there were, we came up with nearly 80.
Wow.
Which of all different shapes and sizes. And I think we'd struggle to find a village in Britain with as many independent businesses. And it's a great cross-section of predominantly owner-operated businesses, from retail to hospitality to leisure. And we put a map together highlighting all these various businesses. And we were all blown away with the fact that we're nearly 80 independent businesses. And I think for Tarporley, that's a huge attraction that, as I say, is probably not replicated anywhere else in the country.
Indeed, certainly it's, I find when I go shopping and things, you've got obviously your convenience of going to big shopping centres with lots of the sort of bigger chains, etc. But there's something to be said for having lots of lovely independent shops all in one place, and I know lots of high streets have struggled with that, but Tarporley seems to be thriving with what we've got going on here.
I really think we've got something unique, and not only have we got all those independent businesses, but the vibrancy in those businesses. In the 15 years we've been around, I think Tarporley is in as good a place as it has been for quite some time. But the exciting thing is I think we've got a lot more to uncover yet still as well. So, for whether it be for residents or for those local independent businesses or visitors, I think Tarporley's got a really exciting few years ahead of it.
Exactly. There's always new things popping up at the moment as well. Have you got any things that you've where you like to visit? Obviously, you can eat and drink here at the Swan, but are there any places you like to visit here on the high street?
Don't get time really.
Yes,
but we're forever walking up and down the street and chatting to people in the businesses. Obviously, being the Swan, we get to chat to lots of regulars who come in to eat and drink in the premises as well. I live half an hour away. I spend half my time here because it's an even more wonderful place than where I live. And it's, as I say, it's got a very exciting future.
Fantastic. So obviously here at the Swan, we mentioned that you can eat and drink here, but you've got a few different offerings as well. You can stay here at the Swan, can't you, as well?
So we have 16 beautiful ensuite boutique bedrooms, from which are all completely individual. And some reasonably historic. We've got 10 in the main building and 6 in the coach house out at the outside. And yeah, all very much unique. We've got the Tarporley room, which has been hosting events for around about 270 years now.
Wow.
There's been some good do's up there over the
I'm
years.
sure.
I'm sure many more to come as well. We've got that hosts around about 80 people for dinners.
Okay.
And is a fantastically historic backdrop for any sort of dinner, wedding, christening, 40th, 50th, 60th. Very versatile room. We've got a beautiful patio out at the back with and about 32 car parking spaces as well. Not quite as many as that actually, but a decent car park as well.
Yes.
And the great thing about the Swan is we're open 7 days. So many businesses in hospitality now, are closing on a Monday, Tuesday. We take very much a lot of pride in the fact that we're open 7 days from 7 in the morning till 11 at night, 12 o'clock at weekends. We serve food on a Sunday until 8 o'clock. So we're very much a place, all things for all people all of the time, really.
Of course.
So looking forward to a vibrant summer. And the Swan really comes into its own in the autumn with our wonderful third year of Swanderland around the corner at Christmas.
Oh, very good.
Which will be a host of exciting events for local community and indeed visitors to come and enjoy and make sure they get in the mood for Christmas.
Of course. Well, the mood is one of the things that I definitely find here. When I visited and when I've spoken to friends and colleagues who've visited, they always talk about the fantastic atmosphere here. Whilst it's always sort of busy and bustling, there's lots of sort of quiet pockets. I mean, we found one here to chat, haven't we, as well? And there's lots of sort of cosy nooks of atmosphere that feel great to spend time in, whether you're eating, having a drink, catching up with friends. It's got a really lovely feeling to it here.
People choose pubs because of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And, it's the component parts of all the things we do in a business like this that go to make that atmosphere. But ultimately, it's about the people. So we pride ourselves on having a great team here, which we were lucky enough to have. And also great customers, because they are ultimately the ones that create that vibrancy, that buzz, that give the welcome, that give the farewell. And it's our aim that when people walk into the Swan, they walk out with their shoulders a little bit higher than when they walked in, because they've just got a little bit more atmosphere and vibrancy about them, having visited a great place like the Swan.
Fantastic. It feels like it's got that community feel where you feel part of something by spending time here. So fantastic. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about whilst we're here today? I think we've covered most of the things we're going to talk about the Swan.
It's been great to have a chat. And as I've said before, I just think there is a really exciting few years ahead for Tarporley. You won't find many high streets with virtually no for sale boards anywhere. And it's got great hospitality. We've got a great new restaurant and terrarium coming up round the corner very shortly.
Yes, yeah.
And the Rising Sun. We've got the Foresters at the other end, the Radical and Rascal. There's something for everyone. And it's a very exciting place to be. But thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks for speaking to us, Woody.
No problem.